Hey everybody, my name is Zach, and today we're headed down to West Virginia to make a video with another Zach. And we're going to do some GRCS drill testing. So I have a Makita 36-volt angle drill, and he has the Milwaukee whole hog angle drill. So when I learned that he had one and he wasn't too far from me down here in West Virginia, I wanted to take a shot at comparing them. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up the GRCS on a tree. We're going to run the rope up through a block and then down to another anchor point, whether it be the same tree or something, and we're going to use the enforcer, a load cell, to determine which drill can produce more force on the rope before the drill stalls. Go ahead and put in the comments which drill you think is going to do better. I have definitely stalled my drill on some really heavy pieces, but only once or twice. They were like wicked heavy stuff. So we're going to do that. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to talk a little bit here about the different specs and stuff, and at least kind of get you a comparison on that side of things, so that way you know what we're talking about when we're going into it. The Makita drill uses two 18-volt 5-amp-hour batteries. Whole Hog by Milwaukee is an 18-volt battery, but you can get different size batteries. You can get a 9-amp-hour battery, and I think you can get all the way up to a 12-amp-hour battery, and I believe Zach has one of those. So I think we'll get to compare against that one. The reality is that mathematically, the difference between a 5-amp-hour battery and a 12-amp-hour battery should not change that much in its ability to produce power. The difference there should contribute mostly to runtime. But that's with two drills that are set up to draw the same amount of amperage at an already fixed voltage. So the drills are two different voltages, so it's really not apples to apples here, because I'm working with 36 volts at 10 amp hours, and the Whole Hog is working with 18 volts at 12 amp hours. So it's got more amp hours but less voltage. So the best way to compare them that I know of is to convert the amp hours and voltage into watt hours. Watts are a combination of amps and volts. They're amps times volts is the actual mathematical equation. So I filmed the intro on the way down, and I actually messed up some of the math that I was doing to compare the two drills as far as battery capacity and everything like that. So I wanted to correct that real quick. The Milwaukee drill has up to a 12 amp hour battery at 18 volts. So at maximum, that's 216 watt hours. Comparatively, the Makita drill has two 5 amp hour batteries that are 18 volts. And when you put two batteries together, depending on how they're wired, you can either double the voltage or double the amperage, but you can't double both. So what happens is the drill is set up as a 36 volt drill, and so the amp hours stay the same. So even though there's two batteries that are both 5 amp hours, the whole contraption is 36 volts and only 5 amp hours. So that multiplied together ends up being 180 watt hours. So theoretically, the total capacity of the two 18-volt batteries is slightly less than the capacity of the single 12 amp hour battery. Now, that can all come down to how the drills are wired and how the motors are set up. That's beyond me as far as electrical engineering and science and all that. But just so that way you can have a fair comparison of the two batteries, the Makita is 180 watt hours, and the Milwaukee is up to, if you get the big battery, 216 watt hours. I don't know the cost of the drills. If I have the opportunity, maybe I will look up all the prices and stuff and give you a fair comparison with batteries and everything in the description. Both drills have two speeds. They have a gearbox that will change the speed of the drill. So it's not just like a trigger function or a limiting function that limits the power. It's an actual gearbox that basically transforms the power from high speed low torque to low speed high torque. And so that's what a gearbox does in general. That's the same way a transmission works in a car. And so both drills have that. They have a high and a low speed. And I forget what the high speeds are, because I'm not interested in that. At least my drill doesn't really lift a whole lot in high speed because it's low torque in that speed. But in low speed, my drill will turn, the Makita drill will turn at 350 RPM according to the spec sheet for it. The Whole Hog turns at 500 RPM on the low speed setting. So theoretically, if the two drills produce the same amount of power, the actual, like horsepower theoretically, Makita would be able to produce more torque, but the whole hog would be able to turn faster. And so the Makita would be able to lift more, but the whole hog would be able to lift it faster. So I can't imagine that the drills are set up exactly the same internally with the same motors and everything. So that's still a variable, but we will see real world stuff by the end of today, which drill can lift more. Hey guys, I'm here with Zach. We got Zach and Zach here today to do some experiments. We are gonna start by setting up the whole hog on the GRCS, and we're gonna try 3 different batteries. We're gonna see how those batteries compare to each other. So there is we have here a
5.0 to 8.0
high output, yep.
And the 12.0 high output.
All right, all
like
right.
20-pound battery.
All right, so my understanding is that different amp hour batteries shouldn't theoretically have different outputs, but Zach was just explaining to me that different batteries are made different ways and internally in the circuitry or whatever. Anyhow, Milwaukee says that different batteries will make different amounts of power when it comes down to the power tool. So we're gonna start out with that. We're gonna see how that goes and we'll go from there. So the setup we got going is we got a sling anchoring the whole system to the bottom of the tree. Then we got the Rock Exotica Enforcer. Then we've got a ring rope, some 5/8 stable braid that goes all the way up the tree to a block and all the way back down to the GRCS. So we're gonna wind things up here real tight. The drill's gonna go until it can't. It'll just quit, it'll stall, and we'll see what it ends up producing on the load cell here.
All right, so we're gonna start off with the 5.0. Boom, multiple recording going on at the same time. 5.0, it's the smallest battery I've got for this thing, and we're gonna see what it'll do.
Oh
man, dude, that went for a while. I wonder what
What's your guess, Zach? What's your guess?
My guess was like 2,000.
2,000 pounds, you're at 948.
948?
Yep, that's all you got there on that one.
Oh man, what a weak drill.
I think it's a battery.
It might be the 5.0 battery.
Look how it squished the pads on the GRCS here.
I mean, that's 940 some pounds of pretension is pretty significant if we're being honest. All right, so switching out 8.0. This is a high output battery, so we will see now what the difference is. This is official. Milwaukee should be paying us. All right, ready? I feel like that didn't do as much.
What do you think?
I mean, it stalled out. I don't know. Did the drill go faster? It felt like...
I'm not gonna tell you. You're gonna tell me, and then I'll tell you.
I mean, it feels tighter. I'm gonna say it's over 1,000.
10-10.
10-10.
Yeah. So you got some really good feel for that tension.
That's crazy that this one goes faster than.
You say it did go faster for you.
Well, remember how long we cranked last time before it stalled out?
I wonder if that wasn't something about settling the slings and everything and getting things pre-weighted or I don't know.
It might have had something to do with that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, settling the slings up top, settling these in, but it definitely felt like
it happened faster.
Yeah, that was fast. All right, so the 8.0 is definitely stronger. I guess it's time to go to the 12. All right, 12.0. I rev the drill every time.
Oh yeah, it's
I'm used to using chainsaw.
Yeah, it's like using a chainsaw. I'm right there with you.
Vroom vroom, you know. All right, let's see what the 12.0 can do. So far, we're pretty far off my guess of 2,000 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, that's maxed.
Yeah, well, we came up to 972.
So the 8.0 registered more?
The 8.0 end up with a little bit more. Still more, I think we're at 948 with the 5.0, but not like a substantially...
Yeah, I mean, they're all like pretty much within 100
pounds, yeah.
They're all pretty much within the same scope, but significantly more money for these high output batteries.
Well, yeah, so theoretically you get a ton more runtime at least, if nothing else.
I would think.
But I guess you're right, the high output ones are supposed to produce more Oompa Loompas.
At least that's how Milwaukee advertises it.
This is why Milwaukee's not paying us.
I know.
We can give them. We can give people the straight and narrow.
These were all fully charged.
Yeah, I know. You showed me a picture of them on the charger.
These were all fully charged to start the day. Well,
yeah.
All right. I guess there's nothing left to do but to do it.
Well, I think I have one more idea. How warm are those batteries?
They would be pretty. They're a little cold.
Why, if you don't mind, why don't you stick them in your car in front of the heater, or we can do it in my truck too if you'd rather not.
All right.
So.
Well, then let's give them a pause and go heat them up. And
see
what we can do.
We'll do the Makita drill in the meantime.
All right. So moment of truth.
Here we go.
The Makita versus the whole hog.
That was it.
That's pretty definitive results.
Definitive results. What'd you get?
What do you think it says?
I'll go for our 2,000-pound mark. We were hoping for the other one.
1840.
1840. Okay.
Dude, you smoked the Milwaukee. All right, so I've got a warm 12.0. Do you want to give me a little touch?
Oh yeah, she's warm.
She said it's warmer than it was. Let's see if the whole hog, the super hog, as it were, super hog, you can see that, can redeem itself just a little bit. At least get within like 500 pounds or so. I don't know. Starting to feel some kind of way. That's it.
Take your guess.
1,000?
1014.
1014.
Well, she's consistent.
Yeah, it is.
You know, you don't have to interrupt your day by putting your batteries in the truck to warm them up.
Should we go ahead and slap them? You want to slap the Makita in there and see if you can get it tighter?
Yeah.
Oh man, that much more.
Oh, that's all she's got.
I would say that's stalled out. 1974.
This is essentially 2,000 pounds.
I mean, that's 2,000.
Okay, so that's conclusive on that aspect. One thing I want to try is I want to see which drill will lift a standard amount of weight faster. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put Zach on the rope and we're going to lift him. We're going to see which drill lifts him faster. We'll go from when his feet leave the ground to a spot that he'll pick in a tree, and he'll holler when he gets to it, and we'll figure out which drill goes faster. I kind of think the Milwaukee will win in this case because the Makita is just geared so low. All right, so what we're going to do is we're gonna run Zach here from where he's at until the knot on the rigging rope hits the limb up there. All right. So, okay, here we go. Yep. Okay, our last test, just for curiosity's sake, we want to see how much tension we can develop with the crank handle. I know on jobs before, when I have had the drill stall, we've been able to do a little bit more with the crank, and so I just want to see how much more. I want to put that into some numbers, quantify it, and just see really how much difference it makes. So you'll definitely see how much slower it is, that's for sure. That's the fast direction. Okay, that's all I got.
688.
688, okay. Okay, I'll go the slow direction now. I'm afraid we're gonna break something.
Oh, I don't think you will. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling tired.
That's pretty interesting, actually.
What you coming up with?
You're at 18 now.
Man, so the drill went a long way.
The drill is about as strong as you are right now. We're starting to get some slippage on the sling. 1968.
I'm gonna go to 2,000.
You got to just to see what you're at. Definitely putting a lot of effort. No one could ever say otherwise. You are at 2,080 pounds.
I'm gonna call it. It keeps slipping, and look at the angle it's putting the GRCS on.
We're getting some creakage too.
Yeah. That's enough. I think you can rely on 2,000 pounds of lifting force, which is great. That's the safe working load. I'm out of breath. Oh my goodness.
And your theory is correct. You were able to get more out of the crank than
yeah, like
the drill.
100 pounds, yeah. Yeah. Okay, well that's cool. That's good to know. All right, so we're packing up here, and I took the GRCS off the tree and was just getting it set up and put away, and I just want to share with you that we completely smoked this pad. It's like destroyed. I'm gonna have to replace it, which is fine. I mean, I have a couple of spares already at hand, but that's how much force we put on this thing today. We cooked it. So that was a super cool experience. I really enjoyed that. Zach was a super cool guy to hang out with. 10 out of 10 would recommend if you get the chance. I was really surprised. Like I said, I kind of thought the Makita would do better, and it did a lot better than I thought it would. I thought they'd be a much closer comparison. So I thought that was super cool to see that firsthand. I will say, after watching the GRCS react on the tree, even though we didn't have the visor plate in, I feel like that 2,000 pound safe working load limit is definitely a good idea to stick to. I don't doubt that the device could handle more than that without breaking, but that's a safe working load, and that's what's recommended, that you don't exceed, and I would definitely stick to that. It just, even, we got the strap super tight, and it still even wanted to pull the base of the GRCS away from the tree. It also damaged that pad. So the visor plate would help with those things, but regardless, I think that's a good number to work with. I think I've heard Greg Good himself say that the braking strength on the winch is right around 23,000 pounds. And that was a static load, not a dynamic load. But it basically started to pull the screws off of the aluminum backing plate that the winch is mounted to. So that would get us close to that 10-to-1 safety factor, which is appropriate. You know, that's a fair margin, I think, for that kind of thing. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this really enjoyable and possibly educational. If you're looking to buy one of those two drills, I think there's a clear winner. Neither Zach nor I were paid by either one of those companies, Makita or Milwaukee. We both paid for our drills, so it's completely unbiased. And I really don't know how you would cheat anyway doing that, but regardless, the results are the results. I hope that if you end up with one of them, you're satisfied with what you get, and I hope it yields you lots of good productive work and you can really get some trees down in a safe manner. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you enjoyed it a lot and want to see more, hit the subscribe button. I try to make a video every week, so hopefully we can catch you on the next one. Thanks again. Check out this sunset. That's pretty cool. Haven't seen a nice sunset because it's been so cloudy in quite a while here in Ohio.